Oh man. So what has my coach and y'all's pastor for life? For life. Looks like you're not going to be able to get rid of him, yes? Some of you heavy Tim followers, you don't want to get rid of him. He's the best thing that ever happened to you, yes? For some of you guys. Unfortunately, it's not Jesus as being the best thing that ever happened to you, but unfortunately for some of you woeful Tim worshipers, okay, my coach and y'all's pastor is the best thing that ever happened to you. Make that make sense. But okay, what has my coach been up to? Oh yeah, he's being innovative. Is that right? Has he been innovative? Is that right? Now we knew that the IAG content was old. It was outdated. It was stale. It was obsolete. We knew that it was weeks behind, 3 to 4 weeks behind. We already knew that. And so I guess his innovation is to mix the outdated, the stale content, the expired content with these new promos. So he's mixing the stale content with the new promos, and he's calling it some sort of trailer, as in trailer trash. So that's the innovation. And does he really think that his ready Tim writers will not notice that the content is still old, outdated? Okay, it's still weeks upon weeks behind. Okay, and so he's mixed it together. Is that right? So he's giving you current promotions, current promos for his goofy trailer trash, and such that it appears, as such that it would seem to some as though his IAG content is fairly recent or up to date, et cetera, et cetera. Is that right? So that's what he's been up to. That's the innovation. That's the grand innovation that he's been referring to. He said, well, how can I present this content, this old content? How can I present it in a fashion where it appears to be new and fresh? And he's like, oh, hold on now. Wait a minute. Now, my heaviest of Tim supporters, if I just put a little lipstick on it and I just add like a supposed promo to it, and I just jump in front of the camera, I have Megan jump in front of the camera, and it's a quote unquote new promo for the trailer. Then when I do launch the actual video, they'll forget that the content is old, it's stale. They'll forget that. Yes. All right. And how is that working out? Is that working out for him and for the viewers? We don't know. We don't care. Okay. Well, has he been up to anything? Anything else? Has he been up to anything else? Nothing else, really? Well, all right. All right. Before I give my reaction to the recent IAG Farms video, where Tim talks about making water. Well, for him, it's about making money. But he talks about making water or using some type of military tactic or strategy to make water. Before I get to that, of course, I have to recognize you guys that have been active in the comments. Keep that commentary going. Keep that dialogue flowing. Of course, I do want to recognize you heavy Tim followers. I would like to recognize you guys, but you guys got to give me something to recognize you about, okay? Just like Tim is using this old content, you guys cannot use old commentary in order to draw some type of reaction from it, yes? The old commentary about folks being jealous about a man living on a garden / pigsty of a supposed farm, that does not carry any weight. We've already been down that road. Those of you guys that tried to imply that some of us reactors, some of us were desirous of Megan. I'm like, okay, now the video does not lie. Okay, and unfortunately, we've had too many close-ups. We had too many close-ups of Megan to this point, such that most folks realize that Megan is more of a man than visually. Well, physically, might be physically as well, but certainly physically, she's more of a man than Tim is himself. And so for you trying to imply that folks want Megan, I'm not sure which folks those are. You guys tried to imply that people wanted to be Megan. They want to take Megan's place. Not as far as the reactors, not as far as the reaction channels go. None of those folks. want to take Megan's place. Certainly, his heaviest of followers would love to take Megan's place. Apparently, I'm not sure why, but apparently, you guys will be lining up to get your backs peed upon. Yes, lining up to dig in the muck, as he calls it, the muck, dig into the poop piles. Apparently, but I haven't seen any fresh, innovative comments from the Woeful Tim worshipers. I haven't seen anything new, any innovation. Okay, so but now when you guys send me something new, when you guys start saying something that's noteworthy, then I'll give you the recognition that you guys would have, that you would deserve, as wilding in the comments, because I look forward to you guys wilding in the comments. But until you guys get something new, some new commentary, some new insight as to why people are critiquing, why people are scrutinizing Tim's behaviors in or around that farm, in or around Resurrection Ranch, in or around the P2P Nodcast, until you start getting back in there and saying something that's worthwhile, okay, in your efforts to wow in the comments, I'm going to keep on digressing. Welcome back to the end game, where today I'm going to give my reaction to the recent the recent IAG Farms video where Tim talks about the kids making water, or Megan making water, or some stealth operation or what have you. So I'm going to give my reaction. I'm going to give my reaction to that video here. All right, at the start of the video, we notice, of course, that Tim has he's designated that today we're going to take the camera inside of the homeschool room. He's like, Megan, get that camera up in there. Okay, forget about the boys struggling with their education. Forget about that. Get that camera up in there and get that content. Okay, per the vision that I supposedly received from God. Per the vision, the videos are just as important as the education. No, God didn't say the videos were as important as the education. No, He said the videos were just as important as the ministry. Is that right? And that's why he pushed the ministry off. He pushed it off by the roadside, and he focused strictly on the videos. So how is it that God told him that the videos are supposedly just as important as the ministry? Okay, and he just said, well, no. Forget about what you said, God. Forget about what you said. Okay, I'm hearing that the videos are the most important thing. They are the only important thing, actually. But apparently he said, Megan, on this day, you're taking that camera inside there. Come up with something good, Megan. Okay, hopefully it'll be something hands-on, something that we can pretend to be exciting for the boys. Certainly, if you don't get any excitement, if you don't get a rise out of the boys, Megan, I'm going to have to count on you to do some to do some fake excitement, do some fake giggling, demonstrate some fake amazement, Megan. So I'm going to need you to fill in the gaps if the experiment goes awry, or if the experiment goes as planned and there's no true excitement within it. But Megan talks about how they're going to do this transpiration experiment or what have you, that I guess they Googled or looked up on the YouTube. And she talked about the fact that she didn't know that plants released water. I think most folk, other than those IAG boys, I think most folks know that the plants release oxygen. And most other folks know that if you chemically combine the oxygen, the right amount of oxygen with hydrogen, you're going to get water. And so no great surprise there. Generally speaking, most living species release water. Okay, most of them release water. Okay, they release some type of moisture or water into the atmosphere, Megan. But I guess you're going to go about trying to build this up to be some amazing discovery. And so at this point, Megan, we can't wait. We can't wait to see how this plays out. We understand, we remember how horribly your little root beer float experiment flopped, Megan. So we can't see what happens. Wait to see what happens with this transpiration experiment. Megan, we know that you're struggling, Megan. We do understand that the priority on the boys' education should be on the reading, the writing, and the arithmetic. There's a reason why they used to call them the 3 R's. There's a reason why they call them the 3 R's, Megan. And of course, with that in mind, science would be third or fourth or fifth on the list, considering how badly and how poorly the boys are struggling with their reading and their writing, with their articulation, their expression. Certainly, Megan, we would not expect you to have any type of focus on the science, especially considering the fact that you're trying to teach 3 boys at 3 different supposed education levels. That would be 3 different levels of English, 3 different levels of mathematics, and now 3 different levels of science. We understand, Megan, why your presentation is raggedy at best. We understand that from time to time, your husband, Tim, he just wants to put on a show and pretend like these boys are gaining anything from the science perspective. Of course, we're bearing in mind that these boys have been delegated to be farm hands forever. And so as such, we're not sure what type of science they would need to grasp anyway. Okay. But Megan, go ahead. We can't but imagine what the experiment has in store, Megan. We can't wait. Go right ahead, Megan. Go right ahead.
Experiment. We are super excited because this is day 2. And we are talking about transpiration. Transpiration is part of the water cycle. It was on our water cycle poster up there. And this whole time, we never knew that plants actually release water, moisture into the air around us. And we just thought that was super cool. We found this experiment where we put a bag over the leaves of a plant, and we basically are going to produce water because that plant has leaves that release the moisture into the atmosphere.
All right, Megan, we're going to have to demand, Megan, I'm sorry, we have to demand, Megan, that you stick to your day job. And I'm not talking about as being an educator. Okay, I know the other day you had on a t-shirt that said teacher. And of course, we know that must have come from one of your Ready Tim writers, one of your woeful supporters. They gave that shirt that said teacher. But Megan, when we talk about you sticking to your day job would be as a farmhand, okay, and as a strong helpmate for Tim. All right. This thing about you educating the boys and actually posting any of your lesson plans on the YouTube and demonstrating some type of educational or educator proficiency, it's not a good look for you, Megan. Stick to what you're good at, Megan. But you talk about how you guys wrapped the bag around the plant or the branches 24 hours ago. And I'm like, all right, Megan, all right. What's so exciting about the 24 hours? All right, hopefully by now in the boys' education, they understand that there are 24 hours in a day, okay? Certainly they know that their dad spends a good 12 hours editing his YouTube videos, okay? He spends another 8 hours sleeping. And of course, he spends about 4 hours between the gym, between him surfing, surfing other video outlets. Let's move on. But okay, should be no shock. Nothing really educational about you talking about 24 hours being in a day. These boys should all understand that. Certainly little Noah might struggle with it from time to time, but for Junior and for Titus, there's nothing special about the 24 hours. So no need for you to emphasize that, Megan, as far as you being a supposedly qualified educator, Megan. But we understand that you have limited time to lesson plan. You have limited time to research for those boys' education. But Megan, you talk about you're excited about this bag, and I'm like, okay, Megan. Now, if you were a true farmer, you would understand. You would be familiar with what a greenhouse is, Megan. Okay, all right. And what does a greenhouse do? Okay, right. The greenhouse allows the sunlight to get in, yes. And what the greenhouse does is it traps the moisture, yes. It contains the moisture, which of course benefits the plants, yes. The moisture does not escape out into the atmosphere. All right, Megan, so this bag is just, a smaller version of a greenhouse. Now, if you guys were true farmers, or if you guys were just, medium level gardeners, you would already understand the concept behind wrapping the plastic bag around the branches, Megan. But tell us more about this, Megan.
And the bag will trap that moisture. So we're going to go out. We put the bag on the leaves yesterday. We went out. We have a little clip of that. We almost didn't pick y'all up for that, but we want to bring y'all along now. So we're going to talk about transpiration for a little bit and just basically review what we learned yesterday and learn a few new things. And then we are actually going to head out and check our experiment, check the bag that's been sitting out there. How long now, boys? Almost a day. What, 24 hours it's almost been. Probably by the time we get out there, it'll be 24 hours since we put the bag around the leaves. So we're going to see how much water we can collect from this plant.
All right, it looks like this is going to be a really, really short reaction because I mean, I don't know how much of this I can take. I'm not sure. Okay, we know that it was Tim's doing, forcing that camera into that closet of a homeschool room. Yes, that room would be a small homeschool room for one student. It will be crammed. It will be tight for two students. Okay, it's a sardine can of a homeschool room for three students. And then, of course, my coach Tim was like, hey, we're going to push the crib up in there as well. Oh, my goodness. Okay, and so it's a closet, but it is just a reflection of what Emma/Hemma looks like. We already know that Emma is a sardine can of a single wide. Everybody's crammed in there with a total disregard of people's personal space. A disregard of folks needing a room to grow, room to explore. Yes, some people need personal space, such as Megan. And then certainly Junior he's getting close to the age where he needs some personal space. All right. And so we're reminded of what a failure of a space this homeschool room is. And it's jammed and it's crammed. And we're reminded by the fact that Megan has to tend to little Benjamin. Because little Benjamin, of course, he wakes up from time to time. And I guess he woke up while Megan was discussing their upcoming transpiration experiment. Rather than neglect him, any good mother is going to tend to the baby at some point. And so, of course, she has to leave the boys to fend for themselves. And she has to pick up little Benjamin and rock him or nuzzle him or what have you in order to soothe him. Such that he won't be as much of a distraction during the lesson. And I'm like, okay, well, certainly Megan, the instructor, is distracted by Benjamin being in the homeschool room. But, okay, don't underestimate the amount of distraction it is for the boys, okay? They love little Benjamin nearly as much as Megan does, okay? Maybe just as much as Megan does. And so when they hear little Benjamin over there cooing or complaining or whining, certainly it gets their attention. Okay, it certainly affects their ability to focus. But thanks for the reminder. Okay, thanks for reminding us of the utter failure of the structure of this homeschool. Okay, you tried to coach folks as far as having a homeschool on their land or having a home-based business on their land. And I'm like, okay, Megan, we see that your efforts at homeschooling instead of setting up a homeschool in your single wide was a failure. We need to see better. We absolutely need to see better. And hopefully it's coming in the form of that porch, that amazing porch that eventually is going to be attached whenever Tim gets around to it. Hopefully it's going to come in the form of that porch. And so you guys can push your homeschooling out to the porch in some fashion. Maybe the homeschool room can actually take up about half. I'm thinking it has to take maybe about a third. Maybe if it takes up about a third of the porch, then it would be an adequate classroom for your homeschooling. Do not forget, okay, that your homeschooling should take place in a classroom. Okay, it's not sufficient for you to put it in a closet. It's not sufficient for you to cram it in a room that's not much bigger than a bathroom. But thanks for the reminder, Megan. Oh, and you too, Coach. Thanks for the reminder on the apparent constant failure of this homeschool situation.
We got our sleepy student. He was asleep, but Mama talked about transpiration a little too loud for him. What do you think, bud? Nope, you ain't having it. He's still a little sleepy slash grumpy. Okay, Sam, I'm gonna get you to read the overview for us again.
Too slow. Let's go.
Right.
All right, so Megan is she really trying to carry out this lesson, execute this science lesson, which normally would be a higher order lesson than just a mathematics lesson? Is she really trying to successfully execute this lesson with little Benjamin on her hip? Okay, now how in the world is it acceptable for Megan to not have any other options, such that she does have to try to do this? She does have to try to be an instructor or a teacher for those boys with little Benjamin on her hip. Are you kidding me? This is absolutely incredible. And now what that reminded me of was the fact that, okay, initially Megan had the camera set up on a tripod. Okay, and so she only had to balance the three boys plus Benjamin. But of course, when she takes the experiment out on the road, takes it outdoors when she's getting ready to go out and I guess collect the water or what have you, look at the results of the experiment. Now Megan also has to balance the camera. Are you kidding me? So Megan actually has 5 tasks. She has to supervise the 3 boys, supposedly educate the 3 boys. Okay, she has to nurture little Benjamin, but she also has to be the camera woman. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 5 tasks at once. And this is still the same Megan that's recovering from her hernia surgery. Are you kidding me? You got to be kidding me. Okay. And I'm like, okay, where is Tim in all of this? Where is Tim in all of this? Good gracious. But I guess we're going to find out shortly. We're going to find out shortly where Tim is.
Boys, y'all got the scissors?
Yep.
Y'all have our little collection beaker?
Yep.
All right, are we ready to roll?
Yes.
Let's go. We are headed. Let's go. We are headed out now to see how this transpiration process has done as part of our science experiment. Y'all come on out. I'm super excited. I know we caught some water because we've been looking at the bag. Pretty much we looked at it a couple times yesterday. We've been looking at it throughout the morning. So we've seen droplets of water in there. And it is so amazing how God made the plants and he made the trees so that they release water into the atmosphere. And we can drink that water.
Holy crap. Holy crap. Out of all the trees on that property, why did they decide to bag up the tree right next to the pigsty / pig pen / mini barn area? And why are we reminded when we see the big old dung pile, the big old poop pile? Okay, why are we reminded of how nasty, how unsanitary of an area this is? How unhealthy of an area this is? Whose idea was it to bag up a tree next to the pigsty? And I can only guess that it was Tim's idea. Okay, but we see the big old pile of poop, yes? Okay, Megan talked about how the plants, they release oxygen, how the plants release water, yes? Now, if you have a big old pile of poop / dung, it also releases something. It ain't good. It ain't good. It also releases, yes? Okay, we know that dung, with the parasites that have been living in there, the parasites that have taken up root inside the poop, let alone the poop itself, we know that it releases toxins. It releases toxins / poisons into the air, yes? All right? Oh, my goodness. Okay, and so, oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Let's see how this plays out. Out of all the trees that could have been chosen, they chose a clearly contaminated tree. Megan, if you had done your research about this transpiration process, you would understand that it would not be good to choose a tree that was rooted next to poop for years upon years. Yes, certainly that poop has been going into the soil. It's been going into the air, but it's also been going into the soil. But oh my goodness, Megan, let's see how this plays out. I'm not sure how much more of this I can take, but go ahead, Megan. Oh my goodness.
All right. Here we go. We are approaching where we have bagged up this sweet gum tree. Look at that, y'all. Woohoo!
All right, well, now, why is Megan the only one that's yelling or screaming about the water? Okay? If it was truly a quality lesson, it would be engaging for the boys. The lesson would engage the boys. Megan, you don't have to pretend to be excited about the water, the droplets of water, Megan. All right? You don't have to try to stir up the emotion in the boys. Okay, if those boys were true to, if they were free to have their own personalities and to be able to express themselves freely, then of course the boys could reflect, they could convey to you their level, their true levels of excitement around seeing this water in the bag. Okay, Megan, you don't have to try to stir them up and force them to be excited or force them to pretend to be excited about seeing the water in the bag. Okay, Megan. Also, by the way, Megan, you guys did not make water, Megan. Okay? And your husband, being the former pastor that he is, he never was a pastor. There's no evidence that with my coach being the supposed pastor that he was, okay, he would understand that, of course, it's not the plants that are making the water. Certainly, Megan, it's not you and the boys that are making the water. It's not the plants that are making the water, okay, from a biblical standpoint, okay, and we do understand that science and the Bible, they don't mesh with each other, okay? They're two totally separate lanes. We don't try to mix them, okay? But if you guys are supposed Christians, you understand that it's actually God. God is the one that makes the water, yes? Okay, it's not the plant, all right? So this foolishness about you guys making water, not that excited to hear about that you guys would try to portray that. I'm definitely not excited that Tim would try to use that in his thumbnail about human beings making water, okay? At best, you guys collected water. You collected water, at best, okay? And in your case, it's poop water, okay? All right, it's poop water, okay? You're collecting water out near the pigsty that's been collecting poop for years now, okay? It's poop water. All right, I dare you, Megan. I dare you. You're so excited about the water in the bag, Megan. I dare you to chug the water, Megan. I dare you. What else are you going to do with it? You're going to splash it on yourselves? Okay, like you were doing down there at the leach fields the other day. What else are you going to do with the water, Megan? You might as well chug it, Megan. Throw it back, Megan. If you really want to make your husband, if you really want to make my coach Tim proud, okay, just like he was forcing you to lay down on that nasty old mattress in that raggedy old supposed resurrection camper, okay, and he wants you to lay down in it so he can get that footage. Imagine my coach's pleasure. Imagine his delight if he saw you throwing back that poop water that you guys collected off the tree that was planted next to the mini barn / pigsty. Okay, we talk about plants being or trees being rooted by the water. Okay, this tree clearly is rooted by the poop. Oh my goodness. And we know that you are what you eat. But okay, Megan, I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer on this experiment, and then I got to get out. I got to check out on this one. It's hard. It's hard for me to stick around. But what else, Megan? What else do you have for us?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Man, y'all, I think we might have made our 5 milliliters. That is so cool.
One of the boys points out the fact that there's a lot of water droplets inside the bag, and Megan says, well, you know, if we slap the bag, if we slap it a few times, maybe we can get some of those droplets to collect in the bottom of the bag. And I'm like, okay, why? And now, if these were true students, yes, and supposedly they are homeschoolers, at least 4 out of the 5 weekdays they're homeschoolers, supposedly. But now, if these were true students, would they not be inquisitive on their own? Okay. There's a such thing called an inquiry model. Yes. And so the kids, they make certain observations, or students make certain observations, and then they inquire about things that they see and things that are unseen. And so why are these boys not inquisitive? All right. They're students. Okay. We know they're farm hands first. We know they're pawns second. We know they're ploys third. Yes. Okay. All right, but shouldn't they be students somewhere along the line? Shouldn't they also be students? Shouldn't they be inquisitive? Okay, so why did not one of the boys say, hey, Mama, what if we slap the bag? What if we shake the bag and shake all the droplets together? Why was it Megan? Okay, why is Megan leading the inquiry? Why is Megan leading the discovery? Why is Megan at the head of the class? She's the number one student in the room. She's the number one student during this experimentation. And that should never happen. Okay, as a real instructor, as a real teacher. Okay, Megan, and you had the t-shirt on the other day. Okay, and it didn't say IAG. Okay, so at least for a moment, you weren't just portraying a farmer. You were portraying a teacher. Okay, so as a real teacher, the students should be the students. All right, they should be inquisitive. Okay, and they should be out there discovering things. Yes. All right, you lead the way, but after that, they should be the ones making the discovery and asking the questions. I don't hear any inquiry. I don't hear any discovery. I certainly don't hear any educational questions coming from these boys. Okay, and now I don't know if that's because of their lack of education development, or because they know that their camera is running and they're afraid. They're afraid to not say, or they don't want to say the wrong thing because they know it's going to the editing room. They know that their papa is going to see it, and if he sees something that he does not desire, or something that he's not pleased with, certainly the boys will be held to bear for that. Yes, but okay, all right. I'm about to tap out on this one. But what else do you have for us, Megan? What else?
Ooh, that is so cool. Look, somebody hold Benjamin's hand for me.
No, even me.
Okay. So, see, there's so much water in here, y'all.
I think that's 5 milliliters. Yeah, I think that's 5 milliliters.
Look at you see all that,
If you
all those droplets.
that, it will be more.
And this is what has collected at the bottom of the bag.
All that stuff falls down.
Right, if all those droplets, look at that. Look, we're making them fall down.
More and more.
Yeah, you see those drops are sliding. Hold on just a minute. Let's see if we can see. Oh, yeah, okay. You see how the droplets are now sliding down the bag and collecting at the bottom?
That's what happened from these leaves.
From those leaves.
Someone fall off the leaf. Look that. Look.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Off of the
I
leaf.
see all the water on the leaves.
It's falling off of the leaf.
That is so cool. Look.
Of course, the boys, they see the water. One of them asks, well, can we drink the water? And Megan's like, whoa, come on now. Remember, from time to time, I put my foot down. Okay, I'm not going to knowingly let my boys drink poop water. Okay, I'm not going to knowingly let you guys ingest this parasite-ridden water that has been collected from the condensation off this plant that's been planted by a pigsty. All right, and she talks about how you can see some seeds up in there and what have you. But good catch, Megan. Way to catch it, and ignore the fact that there's mounds and mounds of poop only feet away from the boys. Yes, and who's thinking about drinking water when they're smelling poop? Every time they inhale, they smell poop. Every time they exhale, they smell poop. Who's thinking about drinking any water, anything associated with that area of the farm? Huh, Megan? But good thing you caught the boys, yes? He said, no, we're not going to drink this. I don't care what Tim says.
Leaders. What?
Yeah, you.
Titus, it might be 7.5, like you said. Can you get it?
I can't. And it's here. Let's see. Put it in there.
Whoa!
No, that's a tad bit more.
That is so cool.
It's over. It's over 10 I'm able to drink it now.
Well, on our experiment, it did say that the water in a survival situation could drink it, but depending on the plant, it might be bitter.
Oh.
It might not taste so good, but that it was, safe to
And
drink.
it kind of has.
Yeah, you see those seeds and.
All right, that's pretty much two things of note, and then I got to get up out of this video. I got to get up out of here before some of this starts killing off some of my own brain cells. Of course, Megan, she told the boys, we're not going to taste it. Second thing is Noah is, he's about the age of a kindergartner. Yes, he's about the age of a kindergartner. And then, of course, Junior is about the age of a, fourth grader. And so our question, of course, would be, what level of a science experiment is this? Okay, is this a fourth grade lesson? Is this a kindergarten lesson? Is it a second grade lesson? Okay, because clearly little Noah is getting nothing. He's getting nothing out of this. Okay, he's that empty vessel that his dad declared him to be. And he said Noah's an empty vessel. When he said that Junior was the strong one, he was just a strong kid. That was his best quality, his strength. When he said that Titus was, the leader, and his best quality was the leader. And of course, my coach, he commenced to snatch that leadership role from him. And then he also declared that little Noah was just an empty vessel for life, which of course, in his mind, is perfect for a farmhand in training. But what level is this lesson for? We don't know. It certainly is going over the heads of at least a couple of the boys. Second thing of note is that we see Tim off in the distance. We see Tim tending to the pigsty / pig pen / mini barn area. Okay. Now you guys remember that video, maybe a few videos ago or maybe a week ago, of Tim out there scooping up that poop, that 1 to 2 feet of poop that he declared to be he declared to be compost material. Remember, he was scooping it up. That was a while ago. Okay, so the question is, how old is this content? How old is it? Now, certainly we're happy to see Tim out there working. And I can only imagine that's why that's why they chose a tree next to the pigsty. Because they could catch footage of Tim working in the background. Oh my goodness, talk about being staged. We already know it's scripted. But talk about being staged. So we get footage of Tim working in the background. Okay, so for the fake. Yeah, well, for the fake. It is for the fake. But for the sake of getting some footage of Tim doing some actual work, so apparently he chose a tree next to the pigsty. But oh my goodness, I can't take any more of this. That's it.
Nah, I wouldn't taste it. All right. Okay, boys. That is so awesome. What did y'all think about this experiment?
I thought it was only going to be like maybe this far, but it's way over there.
Way up there. What do you think, Noah?
I thought it to be 0 or 5.5.
It's not 0, 5.5. What about you, Tim? Tell me what you think.
I thought it was only going to be like 5 milliliters.
Yep, me too. 5 milliliters or less.
That's it for my reaction to that recent IAG Farms video where they talk about making water. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Chop it up in the comments. New heavies, those heavy Tim followers, I expect to see the new heavies in the comments doing what you do. Just try to be innovative in your comments, okay? Please don't try to regurgitate the same comments that we've already heard. They've already been rehashed within the reaction spaces. But I want to shoot out some love to my current subscribers. Thank you for showing me that love. I do appreciate the love. For those viewers that have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing so that we can continue to shine that light. Until next time.